Welcome back, Mama. It is week 2 of the Start Strong Challenge where we are creating healthy habits that actually last. They stick, they stay with us forever, even throughout all of the different chapters of motherhood. And we know there are so many chapters and it can be really hard to stay consistent. But this challenge, we are going to fix that to make it just a little bit easier. Last week, we introduced the challenge, we talked about personal values, your big why, really getting to the foundation for your success. This week is all about creating habits that nourish and energize us as busy moms. We are going to be taking steps to nourish our body and our mind so that you have the energy you need to tackle your busy days as a mom while feeling strong and healthy. Let's do it. Today, we are actually diving into what's called B equals MAP. We're going to go into detail about what that is and how to use it. It's a great technique. And we're also going to discuss how you can use this alongside the 4 laws of behavior change. So we're going to talk about B equals MAP and how to use it with your current goals and your behaviors that you're wanting to integrate. And then we're going to talk about the 4 laws of behavior change to develop habits that support your goals. Plus, I'll be providing you with some easy and delicious recipes. So in your workbook this week, you're going to get space to work through everything that we talk about, B equals MAP and the 4 laws of behavior change related to your specific goal that you're wanting to work towards. And with that, you're going to get some delicious recipes that can help you stay nourished and energized. If you haven't signed up for the challenge, it is not too late. You can still do it. The link is in the show notes. Start Strong Challenge, 4 weeks to healthy habits that last. And when you sign up and you confirm your email address, you will be getting the intro workbook, which is going to include all the details for the challenge. It's also going to include the weekly check-ins, the dates and the times that we're going to be doing that, as well as the weekly workbooks that you'll get that will be building on top of one another so that by the end of January, by the end of the 4 weeks, you have a good foundation and you can continue this throughout the year and beyond. Now, if you're wanting more one-on-one support, making it a little bit more specific to you, your goals, you need help with some specific things related to nutrition and fitness, health and wellness, that's where scheduling a one-on-one will come into play. You can definitely start with scheduling that free 15-minute consult and then we can kind of go from there. But join the challenge. It's totally free. It's 4 weeks. You're getting all of this free content, recipes, workouts, workbooks, everything to make it that much easier for you to start these healthy habits and continue them throughout the year and beyond. Be sure to download today's workbook and take some notes as you're listening, and you can always come back, listen again, so that you can really work through everything that we're talking about. Enjoy today's episode, Mama. Welcome to the Strong and Nourished Mama podcast. If you're tired of wondering what healthy meals to make, feeling like you're running on empty, or struggling to make exercise fun and achievable, you are in the right place. I'm Val, a functional sports dietitian, prenatal and postpartum fitness coach, and a first-time mama. I've created a simple plan that lets you live healthy without strict rules, spending hours in the gym, and sacrificing delicious food while still having time for the things you love. It's time to embrace a fun, sustainable lifestyle where health is possible with a busy schedule, Mama. So grab your coffee, settle in, and join me on this beautiful journey to becoming a strong and nourished mama. Let's dive in. Adding in new habits and behaviors, it is so hard to do. And as I mentioned in episode 4, it's because habits, our current behaviors that we're doing that we don't have to think about, 40% of them are unconscious. And that's because we don't think about it. I don't have to think about tying my shoes, putting on my seatbelt, making my bed, brushing my teeth, all of the things that I do on repeat. But when I am trying to start something new, let's say I'm trying to go to the gym, or maybe I'm trying to go on a walk 3 times a week for 15 minutes. Maybe I want to get on the treadmill and walk 1 mile 4 times a week. That is really hard to do when you haven't been doing it. Maybe you haven't been doing it for a year, or maybe it's been longer. Maybe it's something totally new. Maybe you want to train for a half marathon or a CrossFit competition or some other event that's coming up. All of these things are going to be a little difficult to add in because we are not used to it. It's not part of our current routine and it's not habit yet. So how can we make these behaviors that we want to start doing? And again, the behaviors are going to help us reach our goal. So whatever your end goal is, and you know your why, based on last week, you worked on the foundations, you went through your personal values, you understand your big why based on your goal. What are the behaviors, what are the habits that you're going to have to do every single day and every single week in order to get to that goal in 3 months, 6 months, 12 plus months from now? Now, if you're training for something, maybe it's a half marathon or a marathon and it's in 6 months, we really have to get strategic with your plan, right? Because you don't have long to be able to train, and we have to integrate that into your routine. But maybe it's, hey, I just want to get back into moving again. I want to do something for myself. I want to focus on me and reach the goals that I have had for myself for a while, but I just haven't had time to do that because, hey, being a mom is busy. So we have to think about the behaviors and the habits that we are going to implement and integrate into our daily routine so that it can help us reach our goal. And how are we going to do that? How are we going to be successful? Because if your goal is to walk 4 times a week, 1 mile 4 times a week, how are you going to remember to do that? What's going to remind you to do that? Are you able to do it? So again, we want to set those SMART goals, which you did last week, but we also have to break it down a little bit more. So that's why today we are talking about B equals MAP. It's the key to behavior change. B equals MAP is a formula that was created by BJ Fogg, and he is a behavior analyst. He has a couple books, Tiny Habits, and you can check them out. They're amazing. And B equals MAP is a formula that we need to start using to help us continue our habits. Now, what does it stand for? Well, B equals behavior, M is motivation, A is ability, and P is prompt. So your behavior, B, equals motivation, M, plus ability, A, plus prompt, P. And in order for a behavior to happen, no matter what it is, all 3 of those things, motivation, ability, and prompt, they have to be there. This is a formula that helps you understand how your environment, as well as your mindset, are influencing your daily actions. So if you look this up on Google, or if you're on the email list, or if you're in the challenge, you're going to actually see a graphic of it. It's called the Fogg behavior model since BJ Fogg created it. You have your motivation low and high, and then you also have ability, which is either hard to do or easy to do. And then you have your prompts. Your prompts are your triggers, where you're successful or where you're going to fail. And when you're looking at this, you can really see how this all makes sense when it comes to creating behaviors and habits that are going to last. When we have low motivation, which you're not going to have high motivation all the time. Maybe right now you do because it's the beginning of the new year, you're in the challenge, you're excited, you're ready to start making some changes, but that's not going to last. Motivation is not going to be high all of the time. It's not going to always be high. You're not going to always want to go to the gym at 5 in the morning. You're not going to always want to get up in the middle of your workday and go take a walk outside. You're not going to always want to have water before your coffee. You're not going to have high motivation. We have to accept that. And when you really look at successful people, they are not relying on motivation to get them through every single day and to get them where they are right now to be successful. So when we have low motivation, we need to be able to do easy things. We need to be able to do stupid, easy things to where when you think about it, you're like, well, that's dumb. I might as well just walk a mile instead of just to the end of the street and back, like I'm already outside. But right now we have low motivation. Now, when you have high motivation, you can do hard things. You can go for a mile plus walk. You can go to the gym at 5 in the morning. Like, yes, I feel good. I slept great. I'm ready to go. I have a new workout routine. I have a new schedule or whatever it is. But we can't rely on motivation to help us reach our goals. We have to understand, okay, hey, I have low motivation. I need to do something that's easy. I have high motivation. I need to do those hard things. Now, your prompts are your triggers. This is what's going to help you be successful. So your behavior is the action or habit you want to develop. Eating healthy or walking 1 mile 4 times a week, getting enough sleep, whatever it is. Your behavior is going to be related to your goal that you're going to want to reach. And after you work through your personal values, your big why, and you create a smart goal, we can really identify the behavior or behaviors that you're going to need to add into the day. Maybe you just start with one. That'll be super easy. And as I mentioned, it's the motivation, it's the desire or the reason to take action. Motivation can be intrinsic, like, man, that felt great. I feel good. Or it can be extrinsic, like fitting into your favorite pair of jeans postpartum, right? Like, man, I haven't worn these jeans in 15 months. Like, I love these jeans. I forgot about these jeans. So we don't always want to rely on extrinsic motivation. I really want you to take time to find that intrinsic motivation of, man, after I walk, I have more energy. I have more patience. When I get sunlight and I get enough sleep, I have patience for the family, the kids, and all of the craziness of the day that comes at me. And I feel good. My stress is lower. I'm just overall in a better mood. So that intrinsic motivation is really what we want to get at. And that's going to take time to get there, especially depending on our mindset and that communication, that self-talk that we're having with ourselves. Now, ability refers to how easy or hard the behavior is. I mentioned this. So the more accessible or simple it is, the more likely you're able to do it. So instead of going on a mile walk because you haven't done that in a year, maybe you're like, ooh, that sounds like really hard to do right now. Like, do I even have time for a mile walk? Maybe all you do is put the tennis shoes on and walk out the front door, take a deep breath, and go back inside. Boom, you're initiating that behavior. And every single day you do that, every single week you do that, and all of a sudden you're walking farther and farther, and then you're walking a mile 4 times a week, and you've been doing it for 3 months, and you've reached your goal. Like, that's amazing. We have to be able to start where we are. Now, at the beginning of the year, when we're in this challenge or wherever you are throughout your year and throughout your life, when you have that high motivation, you want to do all the things. I want to walk 4 times a week. I want to get 10,000 steps. I want to sleep 8 hours. I want to eat 150 grams of protein a day. I want to drink 120 ounces of water. And when we look at that, it's like, whoa, those are all great things. I love it. I'm here to support that. But that is way too much too soon. We need to take a step back. Right now, we just need to put the tennis shoes on and go to the treadmill in the garage for 1 minute. That's it. Boom, check it off. We did it. Because remember, small incremental changes over time make for big results. Maybe for the first month of the year, you're walking on the treadmill for 1 to 5 minutes. And then for the second month, it's, hey, I've reached a mile every single day. And then the third month, you're like, whoa, I'm getting 10,000 steps a day, moving more around the house, I'm getting outside, I'm walking on the treadmill, I'm squeezing in movement throughout the busy day. That's what we want to do. Now, P is your prompt. It's the trigger. It's the reminder that's going to prompt you to take action. Maybe it's a notification. Maybe it's setting an alarm, an Outlook reminder, a calendar reminder, visual cues around your home. You need some sort of trigger, reminder, prompt to say, hey, hey, Val, don't forget about that behavior you want to do. Now, when we're looking at B equals MAP, I want you in your workbooks this week to take time, and we'll talk about this in the check-ins, right? So I can help you actually create your B equals MAP to help you reach your goal and your behaviors and habits that you're wanting to do. But when you're doing this and you're noticing, man, I keep forgetting about that behavior that I wanted to do. I keep forgetting to do the pre-bed routine. I keep watching Netflix and scrolling instead. I forget to drink water before my coffee. I'm forgetting to take a midday walk. I'm forgetting to go for my mile walk 4 times a week. We have to go back to this entire equation, and let's start with the prompt. Do we have a prompt that's reminding us to do X, Y, Z, whatever it is that we are wanting to do, that behavior? If your prompt is reminding you, but you're ignoring it, or it's really hard to do, then we need to change the ability, right? Man, it's just been really hard. It's cold outside and I don't like walking when it's cold outside. Okay, how can I make this easier? Well, maybe I bundle up and then I can just take off layers. Let me get my gloves, let me get my hat, let me get my 3 jackets, let me get my boots or my tennis shoes, put it by the door so it's super easy to do, and I don't have this barrier that stops me from reaching the behavior that I'm wanting to do. If it's water before your coffee, I keep forgetting about the water. I don't have anything to remind me to do it. Like, I'm able to do it. It's just like, I just need to take a few sips of water before coffee. Like, that's super easy. I'm not having to chug 120 ounces at 6 in the morning before my coffee. I just need to take a few sips. Maybe you put a cup of water next to the coffee maker, a sticky note that says, drink water, enjoy water. Because remember, we have to have that positive emotion with our behaviors to be able to do it. Take time to go through B equals MAP. What is your behavior? What is your motivation? Where is your motivation on a scale of 1 to 10? Are you able to do it? And what is going to remind you, and actually schedule that or put it in, write it out, whatever you need to do. Let's dive into the 4 laws of behavior change. Now, the 4 laws of behavior change is explained by James Clear in his Atomic Habits book. Again, another great book. I talked about this in episode 4. And the 4 laws of behavior change can help you transform your goals, the SMART goals that you created, that you want to accomplish this year, into actions by designing your environment and your habits to support what you want. That sounds amazing. So let's repeat that. 4 laws of behavior change. Law 1 is make it obvious. Law 2 is make it attractive. Law 3 is make it easy. And Law 4 is make it satisfying. The 4 laws of behavior change are going to help you transform your goals into these daily actions, into these behaviors, by designing your environment and your habits to support what you want. That is amazing. So you are setting yourself up for success by changing your environment and really focusing on the 4 laws of behavior change. So let's talk about law number 1. Make it obvious. Start with visual reminders or some type of reminder or prompt. So I've already said some examples for this, but again, keep a water bottle on your kitchen counter to remind you to stay hydrated throughout the day. Put a cup of water by the coffee maker, and as well as a sticky note to remind you to drink some water. Instead of having chips on the counter, maybe you put a bowl of fruit. You are trying to make it so obvious and so easy for you to be able to accomplish the behavior. Law 2, make it attractive. If it's not attractive, you're probably not going to do it. Like, ew, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go outside and walk when it's 20 degrees outside. So we have to make it attractive. Create a positive association with the habits you want to form. Again, we got to bring in that positive emotion. If you're trying to eat more veggies, find ways to make them more appealing. Or do we have to cook them differently? Do we need to add herbs and spices? Maybe we make it fun by counting our plant foods. Maybe you do it in a way that you enjoy, right? So you add veggies to your smoothies because you have smoothies in the morning, or you enjoy smoothies. Maybe you pair them with your favorite healthy dip. Whatever it is, you have to make it attractive, because if you're like, oh, celery and cucumbers, I don't want that. Like, that doesn't sound fun. No, I don't think anyone wants that, right? But maybe if you paired it with hummus or some type of dip, or maybe you have baby bell peppers with pistachios, a string cheese, and a beef stick, like that sounds really good. And you're getting in some protein, some fat, and you're getting in some veggies. So how can we make it attractive? The tip here is to try incorporating new exciting recipes to keep things fun and engaging. We also want to make these recipes just a little bit easier because we're busy moms. We don't got time to spend hours in the kitchen. Maybe on the weekends we do, which I love, but maybe during the week, we need something that's a little bit easier. This week, the topic is to nourish and energize. And I'm going to be sending you an example food plan with some recipes that you can start to integrate or try. The more enjoyable the experience, the more likely you're going to stick with it. Law 1, make it obvious. Duh, we have to see it, right, to remind us, because right now it's not our current habit or our current routine. Law 2 is make it attractive. Let's make it fun. Let's make it exciting, and let's add in that positive emotion with it. Law number 3 is make it easy. Simplify the process to make it easier to achieve. Whatever you're wanting to achieve, simplify it, break it down, and make it so easy, you're like, man, this is so easy. I feel like I could do more. But you know what? I'm going to stick with this and I'm going to continue it because I know this is something new that I'm adding into my routine. If you're trying to work out more, create a simple 10-minute workout routine that you can do at home with minimal equipment. So in next week's workbook, you're going to be getting some workout ideas that you can start to integrate into your routine. But 10 minutes out of your day to add in some movement, whether it's a walk or it's a quick body weight workout, that's so easy, right? Versus 60 minutes going to the gym to sit in traffic. You have to drive to the gym. You got to check in. You got to put your stuff away. Then you got to figure out what you're going to do. You're there for 60 minutes and then you got to come back home and make dinner. Like the thought of that is exhausting. I don't think anyone wants to do that. That sounds really hard. But 10 minutes in my living room while my little one's playing, I can do 10 squats, 15 jumping jacks, 10 push-ups 5 times. Boom, I'm done. That sounds so easy. We want to make it attractive. So that goes back to law 2. You want to do something that you enjoy. Don't try to make something easy that you don't enjoy because you're not going to do it. And then the last law, law 4, make it satisfying. Celebrate those small wins. Yes, I went on a walk. I walked on the treadmill for 5 minutes today. That is a win because I haven't walked on the treadmill in months. Track your progress and give yourself credit when you stick to your goals. Yes, I did it. I had some water. Yes, I had some veggies. Woo, awesome. Whether it's a positive affirmation or enjoying a nourishing treat, make it rewarding. Really take time to think about those intrinsic motivation and how it makes you feel. If you can't think of something positive, try to think of something neutral. If you're constantly thinking of something negative, we may have to change the behavior. We may have to change it entirely to make it just fit for something that's satisfying, something that you enjoy, and something that's attractive. Maybe after you complete your healthy meal or your workout, your walk, enjoy something small that feels like a treat. Maybe it's a relaxing moment with a cup of tea, like, at the end of the day, you're like, man, I did it. I survived the day. The kids are down. I'm sitting on the couch. I'm going to enjoy some tea and soak up this moment. Maybe it's in the morning. Maybe you woke up refreshed and you have your cup of coffee and you're like, this is so delicious. Maybe it's listening to your favorite music, or maybe it's a few minutes of quiet time or calling a loved one or a friend. Whatever it is, we have to make it satisfying. Okay, so quick recap. The 4 laws of behavior change are going to help you transform your goals into actions by designing your environment and your habits to support what you want. It's going to help you reach your goals. Law number 1, make it obvious. Law number 2, make that baby attractive. Law number 3, make it so easy. And law number 4, make it satisfying so you are going to actually do it. We're going to use the B equals MAP model, behavior, motivation, ability, and prompt, to be able to be successful in addition to the 4 laws of behavior change to reach our goals. Now, how can we nourish and energize? How can we integrate nourishing and energizing habits into our routine? To stay nourished and to nourish our body and keep our energy high, we definitely need this. Let's start by incorporating small but impactful habits into our routine. Okay, so let's talk about morning habits, morning routines. Maybe you start the day hydrated. So can you have a glass of water? Maybe you add lemon, or maybe you add something else to it and you have that before your coffee. You wake up dehydrated, so let's enjoy some water, especially if you're gonna go work out or walk or run around the house, and start your day off with some water. Maybe you do a quick stretch or yoga. Maybe you spend time journaling and reflecting and connecting with yourself. Maybe it's 5 short minutes, sequence on YouTube. And then, of course, having a healthy, supportive breakfast. We have to have a breakfast before the craziness of our day starts. We have to have a good breakfast. I want you to prioritize a balanced breakfast with adequate protein. Take some ideas from episode 13 and prepare a high protein breakfast so that you're starting your day off with plenty of protein, something yummy, something that's going to help you stay energized. We don't have to worry about that sugar crash later on in the day, or man, I'm hungry, I forgot to eat. Prep something in advance, especially for the weeks when you're busy, and then maybe when you have time, you can whip up something really quick. Now, what about midday habits? Can you take some micro breaks, active breaks throughout your day? You're very busy, whatever it is that you're doing, whether you're in the office, you're at home, you're running errands, take short breaks every hour to hour and a half to move and reset. Maybe you step outside, you reach your arms up, you do a quick stretch, you take a deep breath, and then you go back inside. Maybe you go on a quick walk in the middle of the day. Maybe it's a mid-morning or a mid-afternoon to help you give you a burst of energy, especially if you feel that afternoon slump. Getting outside, getting that sun is going to be really great. And then what are some evening routines? The day is crazy. The day is almost done. We have to take time to wind down. Taking time to wind down physically and emotionally is going to help you sleep good. It's going to help kind of put a cap on your day. If you can, avoid screens in bed. Some people can avoid them before bed completely, which is nice. I like to do a little bit of work in the evenings as well as catch up on a TV show, but I have a limit. I say, okay, by 8 o'clock, I'm going to start my wind down routine and I go to bed. So at 8 o'clock, I have a reminder to stop me from whatever I'm doing. Say, hey, Val, it's time to get ready for bed. So I do everything that I need to get ready for bed. And then if I want to read a book, I can read a book and then I go to sleep. So find a wind down routine, which I plan to talk about in a future episode, a wind down routine to help you relax, down regulate that nervous system. And then also before doing that, maybe you prepare for the next day. Take a few minutes to plan your meals or pack your gym bag for the next day. Reduce stress by setting yourself up for success that night before. So what I like to do, since I go to the gym in the mornings before my little one wakes up, I like to get my keys, my creatine and my amino acid drink ready. I like to get my banana ready, my headphones, and then I get my outfit ready so that in the morning when I wake up, I brush my teeth, I get dressed, I do what I gotta do, I grab my things and I get in the car and go, and I'm at the gym at 5 a.m. So I wanna make it so easy. So whatever your routine is for the next day, start preparing for that night of, and then you can wind down and go to sleep. So with this week's workbook, you're going to get space for you to go through B equals MAP, as well as the 4 laws of behavior change related to your goals and your behaviors and the habits that you're wanting to add in. In the check-in, we're going to talk about these and how I can set you up for success, help you a little bit so that we can dial in and you can make it that much easier. I'm also going to be sharing in the workbook an example food plan with recipes that are yummy, they don't take too long, and you can use them, try them out, and see what you think. When you work with me one-on-one, I create a food plan just for you, and it's customized to help you reach your goals, whatever your goals are. So when we meet, we figure out what your goals are, how I can help you. We come up with some action items for you to do, and then I can help create a food plan to help you reach that goal. Let's say it's to lose fat and to build muscle. Maybe it's to increase energy. Maybe it's to balance blood sugars. Whatever it is, I can customize a nutrition plan just for you. All right, quick recap, and then we are out of here for this week, for week 2 of the challenge. B equals MAP, behavior equals motivation, plus ability, plus prompt. The 4 laws of behavior change are make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, make it satisfying, and then start integrating some nourishing and energizing habits throughout your day so that you have the energy to stay successful and do what you got to do as a busy mom. Don't forget to join the challenge if you haven't joined. The link is in the show notes, and I will see you all next week for week 3 of the Start Strong Challenge. Hey mama, I hope you loved today's episode. If it resonated with you, would you please take 30 seconds to share it with another mom, a mom who's looking to make healthy eating and exercise easier, because we need that. And if you haven't yet, I would be so grateful if you could leave a quick review on Apple Podcasts. It truly means the world to me and helps the show reach more amazing moms like you. All right. Time to chase my toddler around, stay strong and nourished, and I will be back on Monday with another episode. Talk soon.